Hello, all. Welcome to yet another insightful episode of Alumni Chronicles from PIBA. Today, we have a very special guest, Elizabeth Catherine, joining with us. Elizabeth is currently working as a business analyst with Tata Consultancy Services. So, before dive into today's conversation, uh, welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining with us. Could you please start by giving us an introduction about yourself?
Sure, Rishi. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. So, as you already stated, I'm working as a business analyst currently in Tata Consultancy Services. So, to brief about my career is I initially started as a front-end developer. Then slowly my transition moved into business analyst. And right now I am into a full-time business analyst role.
Okay.
So it's been years. It's going successfully.
Okay, that's great. So, just let's dive into the questions, Elizabeth. So, how has your understanding of the business analyst role evolved since you transitioned from a front end developer to development?
Okay. Well, my world revolved around writing efficient code and creating visually appealing interfaces. So back then, I thought a business analyst role was limited to documenting the requirements and facilitating the meetings. But it wasn't until I had the chance to work as a proxy BA. Then is where that I realized the depth and impact of the role.
Okay.
So, as a BA is like the bridge that connects the technical team to the business stakeholders, ensuring both sides align towards a common goal.
Hmm.
And over time, I've come to appreciate how integral the role is to the success of any project. So it's not just about capturing requirements; it's about understanding the business needs, solving problems, and enabling the team to deliver value. So I often compare the role to being like a compass. A BA helps guide the project in the right direction, ensuring everyone stays on the course. So that realization transformed the way I viewed my contribution towards any project that I've worked.
Okay, I really liked your the mindset or the comparing the compass to a BA role because I've heard people saying BA act as a bridge or BA holds, but this comparison to compass is something really very insightful. Thank you for that. And so, what aspects of your developer background have proven surprisingly valuable in your BA journey?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, my technical background has become a game changer in the ways I hadn't anticipated.
Hmm.
So, to point out is like when it comes to understanding the technical constraints. So, as being a developer, I knew the challenges tech teams face. So, which helped me to propose solutions that are not only innovative but also flexible.
Hmm.
Then the attention to the detailed requirement. So debugging taught me to analyze problems thoroughly, a skill that's invaluably when eliciting or refining the requirements that I have gathered. Then empathy towards my developers. So having been on the other side, I can communicate requirements in a way that's clear and actionable, which also reduces the back and forth and fostering a collaborative environment. So these
Okay.
strengths have made me more effective as a BA because I can speak in both languages, like a technical term and business term.
So, any other like you have covered almost all the the factors. So, any other factors that motivated you to take a leap from this front end to the BA role?
Yes, so as we know, the transition is not something very smooth, be it from any role to transitioning to a complete different role. But for me, it happened very organically. So when I was working as a front end developer, I had the chance to act as a proxy BA for one of my projects that I was working into. So that role allowed me to interact directly with the stakeholders, understand their pain points, and translate them into solutions. So there was one moment that stood out when one of my stakeholder told me that you really understood what we needed, not just what we asked for.
Hmm.
So that comment from my stakeholder made me realize like how much I enjoyed solving real problems and making a tangible impact to my project. So that's when the leap took over.
Great. Okay, so when it comes to the skills, what skills do you believe are the most critical one or essential ones for excelling in the BA role?
Uh, the most essential skills for a BA is you have to be an active listener.
Hmm.
So, when it comes to understanding a stakeholder, it requires more than hearing. It's about grasping the emotions and intentions behind their words. And the next one would be communication. So, clarity is the key whenever you are working into a project. So, as a BA, it is must that everyone from developers to the CCO executives understands the project goals and progresses. So communication should be one thing, and the
Hmm.
other thing should be problem solving, the
Okay.
ability to think critically and propose the solutions that balance both the business values and the technical feasibility is completely a game changer. So these three needs to be something more needed in a BA.
Okay. Great. So now coming to your journey with the PIBA. What led you to choose this PIBA program? We know there are a lot of professional courses out there. So just curious to know what led you to choose this PIBA program.
Yes. So even PIBA was not an easy take for me. So I was already into a full-time BA role. So it is
Mm.
more than like 3 years plus. I knew I was competent, but I wanted to be exceptional in the market.
Okay.
So the PIBA program stood out because it promised a practical
Mm.
real world insights rather than just textbook theories. So I didn't take PIBA in my initial attempt. So I took several webinars, workshops which was conducted. Then it was after several months which made my mind to take up PIBA. So
Mm.
I was looking for a program that could sharpen my skills and push me to think differently because I'm already working as a BA practically in the real time. But I also want to sharpen my skills more. So that is when I was looking for something different. So PIBA delivered all that in front, and one of the biggest reason I chose PIBA was the mentorship offered. And I am deeply grateful to the Banshu for his throughout guidance throughout the program. Post the program was completed, so he was there whenever I needed him. So he helped me to see my potential and gave me the confidence to tackle the complex challenges which was over the head.
Mm.
So I would say this was the best investment that I made for myself.
Okay, it's great to know that you have researched a lot before joining the PIBA session. You have attended a lot of masterclass, and then you also leveraged the post PIBA assistance, and you were able to achieve what you desired for. That's something great. So, were there any frameworks or techniques, or let's say tools from PIBA that you now use regularly in your BA role?
Yes, there are way many. To point out few things is like elicitation techniques, like whether it's an interview, workshops, or observation. So now I approach requirement gatherings in a more structured and efficient. I mean, previously also I was doing that. Now it is more structured and in an efficient strategy. Then comes the stakeholder analysis. So it also has helped me navigate complex projects when it comes to multiple stakeholders, uh,
Okay.
each of which has their own priorities. So these two has stood out from PRB.
Okay, great. So, how do you feel PIBA's focus on real world scenarios align with the challenges that a BA regularly faces in their day to day life?
Um, the emphasis on real world scenarios was one of the PIB's strongest points. Like, for example, during the program, we practice conducting stakeholder interviews with conflicting interest.
Hmm.
So this is a challenge I have faced in my current role multiple times in my projects.
Okay.
So these exercises has taught me to meditate the discussions that we had during the program
Hmm.
and find the common ground and ensure the alignment. So all the skills that have been invaluable in my day-to-day work. So which includes the stakeholder interviews. We also had some exercise which relates to our day-to-day work.
Hmm.
So all of these has helped in my real world task or the work that I'm doing day to day.
Okay, so I understand the basic exercises or the group activities that you have done during the PIBA session is helping or is still helping you in all your BA related tasks or activities. Great. So, again, like an add on to that question, what specific aspect of the PIBA program had the most profound impact on your growth and your current journey as a business analyst?
I could point out many things, but the things that stand out is the mock interviews which happened. Uh,
Okay.
so since I did an internal transition over my career from being a front-end developer to a full-time BA, so
Hmm.
I haven't given an interview outside the firm. So
Okay.
though the mock interviews were really helpful and role playing exercises, those were like really very transformative.
Hmm.
They allow me to practice in a very safe environment, receiving a constructive feedback
Hmm.
and refine my approach towards it. Feedbacks were not just from the Banshu as a mentor, it was also from the team members who were there as a part of the course. So I really had a very good way of learning and approaching things towards going forward. Then the Banshu's mentorship during the sessions was especially impactful.
Hmm.
He didn't just teach the techniques; he also helped me to understand the mindset how a BA thinks. Then the shift in perspective was a turning point in the
Okay.
career for me.
Okay. So, can you just elaborate on the shift in perspective that you had before and after this, or during and after this PIBA journey?
Yeah, sure. So before PIBA, I did have exposure to many things as of how a BA works. So I was into my actual BA role. All
Hmm.
of it was there. But I always think that I lack somewhere, maybe some specific documentations or the approach towards different challenges whenever the stakeholder conflict is happening or there's conflict within the team and all. So these things to highlight after PIBA, it was way more easier to handle the things whenever
Okay.
it comes to documenting the requirements, handling the stuff, moving ahead with the project planning. All of those were really very clear, structured, and it made my work more easier.
Okay. So, I think based on your response, the clarity and the confidence that you gained uh, as a business analyst after before the PIBA journey and after PIB journey has improved a lot.
Yeah.
Great, great. So, since you have mentioned about the documentation part, so um, how has your approach related to project documentation evolved after your PIBA journey?
Um, Before PIBA, my documentation was more into functional, but
Mm.
it needed to cater to that was the audience that was targeted for that document. So
Mm.
now I focus on the clarity and the structure, ensuring that both technical teams and the business stakeholders can easily understand and use those documents. So PIB has taught me that power of visuals like process flows, wireframes, which had made my documentation more engaging and effective for the
Mm.
developers as well as the stakeholders.
Okay, okay. So just curious to know whether are you using any of the tools that you have learned in your PIBA in your current organization or?
That's a good point, but the tools that I've learned in PIBA is not mostly used in the projects that I work,
Hmm.
so that quite differs. But the things that I've learned from the tools is almost similar.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So, how do you handle the balance between managing the technical deliverables and maintaining a strategic business focus?
For me, it's all about prioritization and communication.
Hmm.
So I've always learned to trust my technical team to handle the how part while I focus on the why and what. So our regular sync ups on
Hmm.
daily basis and the other sync ups which are not very frequent
Hmm.
from both the sides has ensured everyone in the team to stay aligned and focused on the deliverable part.
Okay, got it. So, like since you have transitioned from a proper front end developer to a BA, I would be asking my next question is what advice would you give to any other developers out there who are facing some difficulties or who are like in a skeptical state whether to transition to a business analyst role or will it be possible? So, what advice would you be giving to them?
Uh, so whichever role we are, and when we figure out in our career that maybe this is not our part, we are more interested into some other role. I'm just not telling about how you're going to transition to a BA, be it any other role.
Hmm.
Um, there's always a saying, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. So, with that, you have to be prepared from your mindset and you should not be very hesitant.
Hmm.
So, how things are going to go or how the other things are going to happen when you are transitioning, be it your career, entire career growth, whatever it is, it's always we have to take that first step without hesitating. We have to put our entire effort into it and try to figure out what are the things that I have to taken in order to move to that transition. So even from your technical background like me, from a front end developer to a BA, it's nowhere a limit actually because technical background is again going to be a game changer for you when you become a BA. You can understand more technical part, be helpful in creating the proposed solution. So be it from any role that you're doing a transition, take the first step, then you have to be very consistent in the approach that you're going to take and do your background work, do your research of how your work is going to be, what are the things that you need to change. So when you're doing all these process, when you're very consistent and you know what you're going to achieve, you also need to be very patient enough because things are not going to change overnight. You need to be very patient enough, like and give your 100% each day, whatever you're learning and whatever you're putting forth. So these all things will help you to do the transition even more in a smoother way.
Okay, so I think all the aspirants out there can listen to all these points, mainly the taking the first step, consistency, and uh, work hard and smart, and wait patiently for the right time to pitch in. So yeah, thank you for that. And this is an AI-driven era. So how do you envision the BA role evolving in the next 5 years? Especially with the integration of AI and other new technologies.
Yes, so AI is likely to emerge in the next few years and it's already into the market. So, which will automate the routine tasks like data analysis and reporting when it comes
Hmm.
to the BA role. I think in PIBA we also cover the AI part.
Yeah.
So, which will also give that open mind how we can adapt AI into our day-to-day task. So, with that, when AI technology is emerging, it is obviously going to free up few of the BA tasks, but it will also help the BA to focus on strategic problem solving and stakeholder engagement. So no matter the role will still be a demand on stronger focus on emotional intelligence and the ability to work with AI driven insights to make the impactful decisions.
Mm. Okay. So, in your current role, are you using any of the AI tools for your BA related works or BA documentation?
Maybe not now. Maybe
Okay.
I'll experience that in my upcoming projects.
Okay. Yeah. So, my last question to you: what would you say to the experienced professionals out there about uh, how PIBA can add a value to their BA journey?
I would say PIBA is not just a program. It's not just a course that you will be completing. It is like a catalyst for the growth. I know since we are experienced, we are already exposed to way many things that we'll be learning in PIBA, but I still feel it's a catalyst for the growth in our career. So for the experienced professionals, it offers a chance to refresh your perspective, learn new techniques, whatever is there in the market, and tackle the challenges with renewed confidence that you gain out of PIBA. And the mentorship alone with the Banshu is alone is worth it with PIBA, I would say. So this is like it's best than the better actually. So if you're looking to elevate your BA skills, PIBA is way forward for this.
Okay, thank you for the message to all the experienced folks out there. So we are at the end of our conversation, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for your time. I know you had a very busy schedule, so thank you so much for your time. Wishing you all the best for all your future endeavors from Team InteractX. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.